apartment did the Day of Atonement take place primarily? It took place in the most holy place. That's where the blood was sprinkled, was on the mercy seat in the most holy place to satisfy the demands of the law. So when the first angel's message says, the hour of his judgment has come, immediately we say, if this is the judgment, it must involve the law, because we will be judged by the perfect law of liberty, and the law was in which apartment? In the most holy place of the heavenly sanctuary. But there's more. Do you know that this passage that we're studying actually begins in Revelation 11 and verse 19? Do you know what Revelation 11 verse 19 says? Where this whole passage of the three angels' messages begins? It begins by saying that John saw heaven opened, and the temple of God in heaven was opened. And what was seen in his temple? The Ark of his covenant. Let me ask you, where was the Ark of the covenant in the sanctuary? The Ark of his covenant was in the most holy place. So this whole passage that has the three angels' messages in the heart of the book of Revelation begins with the opening of the most holy place where the Ark of the Covenant is. And then, of course, you have the dragon introduced in chapter 12. You have the beast introduced in Revelation 13, the first 10 verses. And then you have the second beast, the image to the beast, introduced into the latter half of Revelation 13. And then in chapter 14, you have the hour of his judgment. And interestingly enough, when you get to Revelation chapter 15, the first part of the chapter says that the temple of God in heaven is now closed. And no one can enter the temple until the 7 last plagues have been poured out, because probation has closed. Isn't that interesting that you have this passage, Revelation 11:19, the most holy place is opened, the Ark of his covenant is seen. And then you have an introduction to the dragon, the beast, and the false prophet, which we're going to study in connection with the three angels' messages. And then God warns against the beast and his image and his mark in the three angels' messages. And after that warning, we find that the temple in heaven closes, the most holy place closes. No one is able to enter the temple anymore because probation has closed. Fact number 10. The acceptance or rejection of these messages is not a trivial matter. In fact, it is a matter of life or death. It's not optional. You can't say, if you accept them, fine. If you don't accept them, that's fine. Ultimately, everybody's going to the same place. My Bible tells me that those who listen to these three angels' messages will receive the seal of God. And those who reject these messages will receive the mark of the beast. And one group will be saved in God's kingdom. The other group will receive the wrath of God. So let me ask you, are these messages a matter of life and death? They most certainly are. Now, when I was in school, I used to like bonuses. Say, teacher, could you please give us a bonus question? So I'm going to give you 2 bonus facts to end our study today. Praise the Lord that there will be a people, because the question is God going to have a people in the world who will accept these messages and eventually be saved? There's good news. God will have a people who will listen to these messages. They will accept them. They will proclaim them to the world, and they will be faithful till the end, and they will be saved. Notice Revelation chapter 15. Revelation chapter 15 and verses 2 through 4. Revelation 15 verses 2 through 4. Notice here you have a group that's victorious over what the three angels' message mentions, the beast, his image, his number, his mark. There's a group that's going to be victorious because they receive the three angels' messages.